me, 94 isn't any big adventure. First of all, I'm in excellent health, so I don't have any aches or pains that associated with longevity. As a result, 94 doesn't seem any more different than 65. I was born in Buffalo, North Dakota. My dad died in 1918, the year I was born, and my mother had no way to support us, and I'm talking about my two sisters and me. So she put us on the orphan's home at Lake Park, Minnesota. And the reason she did that, it was called the Lutheran Orphanage, and she didn't want anything to do with any religion but Lutheranism. She finally got an apartment over Kresge's dime store, and we lived there, and I spent my formative years dodging Alice Duffy, the police lady in Fargo. She chased me all over Broadway. That's where we lived, and dragged me into the police station. And I had no discipline in my life until Roy Humphreys at the Fargo YMCA, who was boys' secretary, grabbed me off the street, made a man out of me, taught me all about religion and helping other people. Eventually I became boys' secretary and head counselor at Fargo YMCA camp. So all my good points came out of the YMCA. Our company, the 143rd Armored Signal Company, along with the other elements in the 3rd Armored Division, loaded up on D-Day on transports to go to Normandy. And we sailed away, and I'm talking about the 143rd Armored Signal Company. We sailed out to the English Channel, and if I could use a better word, I would. We were lost, and we were on the channel during the invasion for almost 21 days. When we finally got to Normandy and unloaded at the channel, the front was about 3 miles deep. I fought 5 battle campaigns with the 3rd Armored, and one of them being the Battle of the Bulge. It was a very, very disgusting period of time for our division. It rained, it snowed, the foxholes were all flooded. It was a terrible ordeal to get through the Battle of the Bulge and move on up into Germany. WDAY was a challenge, a place to work. I loved it. We were outstanding as a radio station, and we had all the elements of a superpower. We had 2 road shows, which shows our contact with the towns around the Red River Valley. We had the Hayloft Jamboree and the Phillips 66 Talent Parade. And we traveled all around the Northwest putting on these 2 shows, and I went along. I was the #1 stooge. I did all the stooge acts in the audience and a few on stage. Being a stooge, I just about had to figure out what I was to do all by myself. and I enjoyed that. When TV came along, that killed the audience for both the Halo Jamboree and the Talent Parade. Well, I spent 16 years on the Fargo City Commission. I enjoyed all 16 years. It was great. John Lindgren was an exceptionally bright mayor. He didn't allow too much tomfoolery, too much comedy antics during the meetings. He was a very serious mayor, but he was well educated about politics and ran a very strict city commission. And I enjoyed the 16 years. I had Dick Henches, had Jack Stockman, had Donna Chalamanchik. We had quite a review of people. Well, any catastrophe we had in Fargo, no matter how minor, Fred Slonzer with Northern Improvement would be in charge of recuperating the city. And I got to travel with Fred a lot. I was very, very fortunate. He was an absolute genius when it came to organizing people and working the community out of floods, tornadoes, whatever. He was always the lead person in these tribulations. And I became very fond of Fred, and we became very close friends, and we did a lot of things together, go out to dinner together, that type of thing. But yeah, the community lost a real leader when they lost Fred Slonzer. Well, to develop my career with WDAY, I purposely went to NDSU, majored in English and modern arts, and enjoyed 4 years of bliss at NDSU. And I was very active, of course, out there in extracurricular items. I wrote an original the book for an original Buys and Brevities, which was my high point. The Blue Key Turns. I got $75 for my work, and that $75, believe it or not, paid my tuition for the whole year. You know, tuition in those years was $15 to $20. Now what do you spend? In the thousands. The happiest 4 years of my single life was at NDSU. Well, there are two things I did out there that I'm well known for. I founded the NDSU Hall of Fame, and I founded the Tea Makers Club. Those are the two things that the college remembers of me.